Hello, my name is Miranda HP.
And I'm Connor Calloway.
And we are the Bountiful Bards.
Please join us in our first ever recorded D&D campaign,
The Fountains of Cathaidra. Initiating combat sequence.
Combat sequence engaged. Prepare for the attack.
Oh god! We're all gonna die!
Boop, boop, boop. What are we doing here? I don't want to fight for your entertainment. I just want to eat. That's all I need. All I want to do is progress my story and grow as a character in this post-apocalyptic wasteland, these four tribalistic societies based on common emotions that are created by humans. As if we're not supposed to be as complex as we should be.
Well, you know, the only way you can truly progress is if you get into a combat-style tournament where all you do is beat the living shit out of people.
It was just so funny how everybody just wanted to copy the Hunger Games so bad, but it's like they completely missed the point of what the Hunger Games really was.
Begs the question if she really was as good of a writer, people missed the point that much. Anyway, it's just a joke. It was a joke! Shut up!
Funny joke!
All right, I'm going to mark, and then you will begin. Ready?
Why are you pointing at me? Oh, we're starting. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I do apologize. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another game of the Fountains of Cathaidra. Welcome back to Fuck Around and Find Out, the bit that just keeps on giving.
Welcome to Do Lock Such... Oh, wait, wrong.
Miranda,
Sorry.
No. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about you? Trying to be awake.
There's a bunch of birds outside, and they're pooping all over my vehicle. But other than that, everything seems pretty good, because spring is on the way.
Spring has sprung.
It's still quite chilly here, though. Anywho, anything new? Any advertisements we need to talk about? I don't think we do any advertisements. I don't think we ever will. This is just all for funsies anyway.
I don't think so.
Except, you need to put a shout out for the music you recently did for a certain streamer.
Oh, yeah. I got my first moneyed commission for writing music for a good buddy of Connor's, Mazul. Is that what's his streamer tag?
You know, I don't know his streamer tag off the top of my head. We should definitely try and figure that out so that we can throw it out to him.
Yes. Insert awkward audio clip later here for his streamer tag. But yeah, and it's on his stream for when he's like idle, or he said he was sometimes going to use it when he's doing his like study stream and stuff. So, yeah, he's very happy with it. So, and I'm happy that he's happy. So it was pretty fun.
And cool. I still have to listen to it naturally, which I probably shall do later today now that I actually have time after we play.
Yeah. So yeah, been writing music. I got to upload a bunch of music to my YouTube channel at Bardic Mira, because I keep forgetting to.
Let's see here. There it is. He is Mr. Lost with a 0 for lost. So that is his Twitch name if you want to go give it a check out. If you listen to his introduction music as he's preparing, that is all made by our bard here, Miss Miranda, as some people like to call her. So there we are.
MR.
Please go give him...
Mr. MR. Is it MR?
No, it's M-I-S-T-E-R.
There you go.
Long version. The long version of Mr.
The long way around.
So Mr. Lost with a 0, and that is him. So please give him a follow. He's one of our favorite people. He likes to play a bunch of scary games from time to time, but you'll also catch him writing because he is one of my fellow writers that I share documents and notes with and brainstorm with. And I think he has a book deal coming up this year. Can't wait to hear the news on that. But enough about that. When his book comes out or it's being ready, we'll talk about him again then. But other than that, we're ready to just start playing?
I think we are.
Okay. Let me find my page. So, last time, as you recall, you and your brother were being drowned by nothing short of pure inspiration.
Yeah, my favorite.
Or pure imagination. Just gushing purple that just elated you and drove you to want to create and be passionate and to just generate wonders into the world.
In a world of OSHA violations.
You said you gave in to the swell, whereas your brother probably fought to the last second before he finally sucked in some of the liquid you were floating in and thus died. So do you have your new character ready?
Yes. I'm playing a Tabaxi Rogue.
Okay, oh God, no.
And I'm a stealth archer.
No. With shout abilities. Do you have wares?
If you have coin.
All right. Leah, you float in darkness, sheened with violet. You are alone. You do not breathe. You somehow see. All you do is just drift until after many seconds or many years, you feel a strong current begin to push you away. And then your vision begins to clear. You are cold and hungry. The two fight for the attention of your suffering like bickering twins. You reach your hand out to rub warmth into the legs that are no longer there. Jimothy sits next to you, his eyes wide with shock, his face dirty and broken. He goes to open his mouth to speak, but only a jumble of words escape. Placing 2 fingers in his mouth, he cries in alarm and opens his mouth to show you that his tongue is missing. The cobbles beneath you two are uneven and damp from the rain. You wear every color, though each of the pieces of fabric are faded from use on a dirty dish or a dusty shelf. Before you is a little tin for holding coins. There are none. No one looks down at you as they pass. Tonight, you know, all will be over. You feel it there, just as the fading sun. The only thing that will save you is just 1 coin. What will you do?
Do I have control of my body beyond the fact that I have no legs?
Yeah, you can move both your hands. They're there. You look down at your fingers, and your nails are broken, brittle, almost glass-like. Your hands are overly calloused inside the palms. You see several cuts along the back of your hands as well. No rings, no fading tan lines. They're shriveled. Wayfish.
Do I have any of my instruments with me?
Give me a perception check.
Just, I'm resisting really hard. Going, he's got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
It's okay.
Ooh, that's a really good perception check for me for once. 17.
A 17. You have next to you a precious pan flute that is dark brown and could be mistaken as a twig, per your design so that nobody would steal it from you. It was a gift from your father. At least, whoever this person is right now, their father gave it to you.
Man, this Quantum Leap episode is rough. Well, I will play a song then. I, Miranda, don't have a pan flute, so you're just going to have to use your imagination.
What kind of song would you try and play on this little pan flute? Describe it to me. Right now, at your wit's end, or at your life's end.
Mournful, reflective, anticipatory.
Okay. So you begin to play. Roll me...
Vivaldi, essentially.
That is A-okay. All right. So roll me a perception check. I mean, not a perception check, a performance check.
Okie dokie. Let's see what my performance is. A 19.
As you're playing, your song coming out as mournful as you're proposing it to be. People are trying to rush by and maybe don't want to be dragged down by the mood of the rain in your song, but one older lady kind of stops and looks down and says to you, "What a pretty little tune." She's a little heavy set, definitely has a brownish, thick dress on, apron sticking out of her pocket, a dirty apron, as if she just got done working at a bakery and is heading home. She goes, "Where did you learn to play like that?"
My father taught me long ago.
"Ooh. Well, you poor dears. One moment." She reaches over in her little bag that she's got on her right side of her hip that you didn't see because of the way she was standing. And she pulls out 2 loaves of somewhat stale bread and hands them down to both of you.
We'll take them, obviously.
All right. There you go. I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
I couldn't be more of help.
Thank you. Your kindness is appreciated.
No, it's just another day. Y'all stay warm tonight. With that and a sorrowful eye, she continues on her way.
I don't understand you, so I'm just going to give you some bread. Then, open it so it's the softer pieces, because I guess he doesn't have a tongue now. Oh, this is really weird.
He takes it and takes a bite and eats it. So what would you like to do now, as you take a bite yourself?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm just going to eat it and see what happens next, because I don't know. I can't move very well.
That's all right. As you two eat, and the bread begins to warm your belly, though stale, if you let it hang in your mouth for just a little while, it'll soften up as if it was fresh. At least that's what you tell yourself. The city streets fade along with the people walking on them into purple mist, and you are once more alone, drifting. A new current grabs you and whisks you away. You are young and worried. You sit at a table in a cottage home. The smell of manure wafts in through the holes in the walls. The fire is dying, for it is late at night, and your parents stand over you. A long silence is sitting between you before your father asks, "I'm not going to ask you again, Salda. Where were you?" The truth of it is, you were with the Thatcher's boy from town, and the two of you shared your first kiss under the moon. An innocent moment, but if your parents knew that, naturally you'd be in trouble. Just past your parents, you see a small little boy, his face looking at you from a cracked door. You do not recognize the boy's face, but you recognize his eyes. And it's Jimothy's. Your father reiterating, "Where were you?"
I was out for a walk in the moonlight.
"In the moonlight," says your mother. What possessed you to do something like that at this time of year?"
It's pretty.
"You see the moon every night. You could have at least let us know that you left."
I'm sorry. I got distracted.
"Oh yeah? What'd you get distracted by?"
The moonlight.
"Oh, okay, so you just went out chasing the moon. You really honestly expect us to believe that?"
I mean, it's what happened. Ain't you never seen anything pretty, Pa?
I've seen... This ain't about seeing things that are pretty.
Well, that's why I went out, Pa. It was pretty. Sorry.
How far did you go?
Thither and yon. I didn't really pay attention.
Who taught you these funny words?
Books.
Books? Where did you get books?
Around. I have to put them back. I mean, they're not mine.
Uh-huh. Why don't you go get these books and show them to me?
Well, I don't have them here.
Well, where are
I was
they?
Standing there. There's plenty at the shops.
What shops?
Any. Travelers, tinkers sometimes have them. Then I just look through them because I know I can't buy them. So
Have you been spending our money and stealing from us?
Did you not hear what I just said?
I heard you.
I said I can't buy them, so I just look through them and give them back.
Well, ain't no merchant around here gonna let you look at the merchandise unless you buy it.
Well, sometimes I take pity on a grubby little girl, don't you know?
Roll me a persuasion check.
I'm fucking cute, damn it. I'm a cute little grubby urchin. I just want to read books.
No, now you're a farm horse girl.
Oh, I'm Imogen. Daddy, you just don't understand me.
I got psychic powers. I can pull out the brains of squirrels from a distance.
I can read your mind. He said, persuasion?
Yes.
Oh, my persuasion is amazing. 23.
23.
Look, the fact that I got deeper into that redneck must award me something here.
Right, it does. Every action, everything you say to me is changing the DC. If you haven't picked up on that part yet.
I have, the way you keep looking at me, you weirdo.
I have to look at you. You're literally across from me.
Ah! Who let this man in here?
You're married to me. Look at the...
I thought I was a little girl at a table. I am so confused right now.
So many lives you live. Flicker, flicker, flicker. Both of the parents look at one another. Well, I'm going to make sure that we're going to nail your windows shut if you're going to be trying to keep escaping. We can't have you out there. There's wolves about this time of year, and they're hungry. Going off to bed. We'll see you in the morning.
All right.
What was that?
I said, all right.
With that, you get up from the table, and it vanishes.
Ha!
Along with the cottage, along with your parents. All gone. Now, as you drift once more in this purple haze, what is Leah thinking right now?
Oy vey, what next?
Is that it?
Yeah, basically. I think she's like, first I had no legs, and Jimothy had no tongue, and then I was young, getting yelled at, and apparently I was smooching some kid I don't even know, and there were wolves, and like all this shit, and I'm apparently drowning, but I'm not drowning, and so now what?
First no legs, then puberty. What now?
Oh God, not puberty.
Battle beats its unrhythmed tune just outside the door. You stand in a militaristic uniform, a familiar sword on your hip. Your scribe, who you know is Jimothy by his eyes, stands next to you, quill ready, its feather reflective in his glasses. 6 soldiers stand in this room, all looking to you for orders. A 7th man is tied to a chair, his right eye swollen and bruised, his teeth stained with blood. He grins at you regardless. General, we caught him with a Condolian spy earlier this morning. The spy escaped before we could shoot him down. He hasn't told us the information he provided them. He just keeps laughing at how it will all soon end. Whatever he gave him, he feels it'll turn the tide of the battle. What should we do?
Do I have access to my magical abilities?
You reach within yourself to tap into that source of pure magic that is a part of you just as you are a part of it, to bring forth changes in the realities around you. And it is not there.
Okay. Fair enough.
You look down at yourself in your uniform. It is quite imposing, and you catch yourself in the reflection, and what you essentially have is shaven sides starting from your temples that reaches all the way back around the back of your head and to the other side, and your hair is short and done in a very short row going across the top.
Oh man,
you have a scar on your left jawline that goes from the middle of your cheek down under your throat.
At least in this one, I'm a badass.
Apparently.
Jimothy's the nerd in this one. Okay. Leave us. I will speak to the man.
What about me? Ma'am? Says Jimothy next to you.
You stay here and take notes.
Okay. The rest of the soldiers look around worried, but they do not hesitate more than a second before they all leave and shut the door behind them.
I'm going to walk around the man and examine him.
He's watching you, smiling as you go.
Do I know Jimothy's name in this reality?
You do not. But you can call him by Jimothy since it's just you two.
Oh. Scribe.
Yeah, that's me. Ma'am. General, I guess.
Let's untie this man and have a conversation. Civil. Let's say. And I'm going to kind of do the thing where, like, you know, someone who's, like, super imposing kind of, like, leans in front of the person.
Okay. Is this like... Never mind. He pulls out the knife, goes over there, and he cuts the guy's bonds loose. He has his own little side knife.
I'm assuming this is a general's tent, so I've got, like...
You're in a building.
Oh, it's a building.
And there's a window if you wanted to go look outside as well.
No, I'm just assuming that, like, I've got things like, you know, whatever the fantasy equivalent is of, like, a coffee bar kind of thing, because they usually do. They have, like, a table with, like, water and stuff.
This is more of a holding cell, if anything. But there is
definitely
in the corner a shelf, probably with a jug of water and such on there, if you would like.
Yeah, I'm going to go pour a glass of water and hand it to him.
He spits in it.
It's your drink.
He doesn't take it.
I give it a sniff. Drink it.
Okay. Jesus Christ, roll me a constitution check just to see if your face turns a little bit.
Straight constitution?
Yeah, plus your modifier.
16.
16. Yeah, you knock it back and kind of wipe your chin a little bit as if you just downed a shot of whiskey.
I always like the extra flavor.
The guy kind of looks a little confused at that gesture.
So, I hear you got caught chatting with someone you probably shouldn't have.
Oh yeah, I got the information out. It won't be much longer now.
Until what?
Until it's all over.
What does that mean? Like, the world?
This battle, this siege. These people in here are starving.
Well, yeah. I understand that. And I think we all want that to end too.
He doesn't say anything else. He looks down at his wrist and rubs them where the ropes have been tied. He doesn't stand up. He just sits there.
Well, what I don't understand is why you betrayed your fellow man.
There are men out there too.
Sure. But do I know anything about this guy besides, like...
Roll me a intelligence check.
I'm sure they would have brought me a manila envelope.
Well, yeah, of course. And I say just intelligence because, you know, there are plenty of other skill checks that can be created on the spot by DMs that is not within this little list that we have, you know. A history check, you could say, but then people get confused about that as well, so.
13 for intelligence.
13, you said?
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely one of the platoon leaders that was up on the wall when the siege was occurring. You do know that much. You could tell by the insignia of his broken uniform that he probably held a portion of the wall, a portion of the garrison. That's about as much as you could ascertain from the individual.
So he is like a platoon leader in my army?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
He was from what you gathered and you can recall, he was giving information to a spy, and the spy got away with the information before they caught and beat him.
So, listen, I'm going to do the age-old thing. All military people do this. Or interrogation people do this, I should say. Military people do it with, like, more of a bit of a stick up their butt. But they pull the chair out and they sit on it backwards.
Okay.
You know?
You pull another chair up and you sit on it backwards.
Yes. What I don't understand is...
You see Jimothy roll his eyes from your corner of your vision.
I'm doing a telenovela here. Shut up. What I don't understand is how you could do this to your men. They looked up to you. You're a platoon leader. You led those men. And you know what? I see by your insignia. I know what part of the group you were in. And I know members of your platoon who most likely will die because of your actions. You are willing to do that to them, to those men who practically worshipped you? I know for a fact that there is a private who followed you around with worship in his eyes because you made him feel like he was part of a community, part of a crew, part of something that mattered. You did that to him?
Roll me a persuasion check.
My beautiful gold nat 20.
Oh, a natural 20.
Ah.
That's exactly why I'm here, aren't I? That private's dead now because of men who looked up for me from the walls below. And an arrow got him. And we're just sitting here in a stalemate, firing ballistas and trebuchets at each other over and over and over again for the past 3.5 weeks. We're surrounded. They're starving us out. And the king won't give up because of some foolish pride.
How do you know? How do you know? You don't know.
I see it every day.
No, see, here's the thing. And this is where kind of the problem with compartmented information comes in. You are responsible for your section and for your men, and you see that segment. You do not see the whole picture. You don't see what I see. Because I'm responsible for everybody here. That private you talked about who was killed, how many men you think I lose every day? And I feel every single one of their deaths. Every single one. And wish I could have done something to prevent it. But what you're suggesting not only will increase that millionfold, but you don't see the whole picture. You are not responsible for every single person. It is so short-sighted of you to think that this goes on because of someone's conceit or arrogance. You don't. No. You are not privy to the communications that I hold with the king. You are not privy to the communications of what goes on in this siege. And depending on what information you gave, you may be the reason that our siege fails because you weren't patient, because you didn't trust your leadership. I'll make you a deal. You tell me what that information was, and I'll tell you what mine is.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Do I get advantage?
Yes, actually. Goodness. You had me moved over here, and I'm the omnipotent god that tells the story.
Yes. Why can't I add right now?
Because math is hard. Because
23.
Alex isn't here.
23.
23. Oh, the old sailor on Amon Street beneath the inn there. Goes underneath the city walls. It's buried on the other side. Because they built the walls so close to his inn, they didn't realize that if the other side just digs down deep enough, they can find it. That's what I told them.
So, I'll make good on my end of the deal. Here's my secret, and I'll lean in real close. We know about that tunnel. We filled it with limestone and slate and death. We know.
The vision fades. My wife gets any more, intimidating just for me, myself, sitting over here. Once more adrift, once more wished away. The haze of violet fades from your sight. You walk with silence down a divided crowd, the scene being your path to a raised dais. The original housing of the Symphony of Ivory awaits you at the end. You are clothed in a beautiful flowing violet gown. Not violent gown. Violet gown.
It's killing me.
Your hair in a tight braid secure a high hidden by a silver circlet. This is the night you have been waiting for. The one to finally be appreciated for everything you have worked towards. Your immortality is just there, waiting among the keys. If you succeed, your image will join the halls of other legends, and your music will be repeated by those yet to be born. Their motivation incited by your creation. You step onto the stage. Jimothy is there with a hand ready to guide. You provide your audience a cordial bow, then you sit down to play. What do you do?
You're giving me real life performance anxiety over here, man.
Good. Good. That means my descriptions are working.
I don't do well in front of crowds, man. Okay. Well, I'm sure Leah does. Leah's way more confident than me. So, I play the piano.
Okay. I see a piano just there before you. What
Is this before me a dagger? No.
What would you play? Give us a little ditty.
It'd be real longer in a performance context, but that would, and I'm just making it up as I go. So,
What a beautiful few notes you've played for us, but of course the song would arch on through the night as you continue your one-person concert for all to listen to. Not a breath is taken, not a clap is made, as you have this entire crowd enraptured in your rhythms. Give me a performance check with advantage, because you actually can play an instrument.
all these years were worth it.
Everything is content.
Oh, that chord. They are the same number.
And what number is
they
that?
They are both 19s plus 10
so,
for my performance.
29 each.
Bow, 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 bow.
As Leo, you play, and though you know this is an illusion, some form of test, a dream, this is probably the first time you've ever been able to experience this power. The concert in Miro is nothing but a candle next to this sun of the moment that you're enjoying. And as the time passes, you just completely forget where you are. As your eyes close and you listen to the keys, and as they open once more, you and your brothers stand in the chamber, in the fountain's entryway chamber. Breathless, the purple liquid gone, the two fountains you filled flowing with this pure magic. And before you, your illusion, your dream, and the symphony of ivories in front of you as you're playing fade as you hear. And two doors in front of you begin to slide open, revealing on the other side darkness. Many little shivers and quakes inside the room as an entity steps through. A bipedal humanoid man, 10 feet tall, made from stone and eyes blaring purple, comes and examines both of you.
Hi. Did we wake you?
You have come seeking the fountain of charisma.
Yes. Nudge Jimothy.
Yeah. That was what we did. He starts to reach over and start to grab his sword, and then the head just immediately swivels and looks right at him.
Grab his arm, put it down.
You have made it through the challenge of the fountain, and have so been deemed worthy. You may enter the chamber.
All right. Yes. See, Jimothy, nothing to worry about. I'm going to elbow him really hard in the ribs and, walk forward.
The guardian golem, whatever this creature is, steps to the side and sweeps his hand out, even though he is 10 feet tall, in a cordial motion, gesturing for you to enter. Give me an insight check.
Okay. See if I'm a complete dummy. Let's see, what is my insight? Probably not very good. A good old 10.
10.
Yep.
You get the sense that this guardian, as cordial and as polite as he is being in allowing you entry, that you may have indeed passed this test, because if you didn't, you do see on the stones of his knuckles stains of blood turned brown now.
Yep. Look, I make it a policy of always being nice to creatures much larger than I am, so
Absolutely.
in D&D and outside.
As your first foot falls into the new chamber, 4 sconces along the wall come alight with that same violet flame. The walls of this chamber steeple up together to form a domed point. Between every curving pillar is an alcove empty of paintings or other displays. But of course your eye is pulled towards the center of the room, where a pile of rubble sits, unmoved and unmade. Timothy goes, "What? Is that it?"
Yeah,
"Hey, Mr. Golem." He turns around. He goes, "What?" You turn to see what he's looking at, and the golem that you walked past is gone.
I'm going to kind of like walk in a circle around the rubble.
Yeah.
And reach out a hand to see if it's an illusion.
It's not an illusion, as your hand is dirtied by the dust there that starts to into the air.
I'm just kind of like...
And you feel bits of stone. You pull up a little figurine that looks like a tiny little person carved out of marble.
I'm gonna just start, like, as I walk around it, prestidigitation to, like, clean it off kind of thing.
You begin to cast prestidigitation, and as you do, the dust doesn't vanish. It moves, though. And there's more movement that you would usually see coming from a prestidigitation.
Okay. So, seeing that, I'm going to remember what happened last time. And I'm going to cast Healing Word using the Symphony of Ivory.
You summon forth the keys and begin to play the notes of healing. And as you do, the dust begins to move. Like rhythms in sand that you've seen before, that we've all seen, you see as ripples and pathways begin to arch and curl throughout the dust and sand there.
I'm gonna do it again.
As you keep playing, you finally see what your eyes have been hoping for. The stones begin to move, searching for one another, as if partners in a dance. The debris begins to shift, and pieces long separated begin to puzzle one another out before knitting back together. In moments, the artifact you have sought after is rebuilt before you as you expend 2 spell slots, playing for multiple seconds. Fueling your magic into this, it feels and feeds off of you. You feel it tugging from your very body into the stone, pleading. You sense it pleading for you to continue playing so that it can be whole again, so it can have a purpose again.
Make us whole again. Sorry.
A gorgeous fountain, utterly indescribable, though I will try, is before you.
I love fountains so much.
I know. You loving fountains is why I wrote this entire world for you. You and your brother have to take several steps back as the basin was rebuilt. 6-tier platforms, identical in size, stand before you with a single strong pillar running up the middle. You focus on one of the layers and you see small statues of buildings similar to what you found before when you were in the ruins of Radiant. And there are people, little stone marble people, hundreds of tiny carved people going about their day. At the top is a beautiful palace adorned in purple glass. It is absolutely a replica of what Radiant once was. You know that to your scholarly core.
I'm gonna start sketching.
You don't have time. as the fountain begins to hum. Leah, what happens now?
Hold on to your britches.
Soft at first, almost uncatching, then more so with a growing ferocity. Along the edge of the basin, wine-colored runes appear and glow brighter and brighter and brighter, the etched spells repeating their casting over and over and over again. Now the room begins to quake. The stone around you groans. The air grows thin as if trying to escape from the building pressure. You feel your clothes, your weapons, your instruments grow heavier and heavier, and the both of you collapse to one knee. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that was really good. Dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
Because I have +2 to my Constitution, I think. Let me check.
Jimothy also rolls a 15. But still, you both are on a knee, but you do not collapse to your bellies. You're able to hold that strong enough, and you hear your brother cry out, Leah! He's scared. His shouts are muffled against this roar of power. Both your hands now slam to the floor to brace your chest from the ground. You strain your neck to maintain focus on the fountain, praying for whatever is happening to end. And in that last second before your arms give out, it does. A column of purple erupts from the lower basin and slams into the ceiling. You feel the ground surge upward through you, and you're not sure how. Perhaps an instinct of falling, but in reverse. The dome splits, and along its seams and cracks open into 6 different domed split openings like a flower blooming. You panic, thinking you're underwater. This temple is underwater. You're going to drown again, this time for real. But you don't. You glance up into the light and see water trying to break past this power, but it is unable, as a column of water has been created just like before, but larger. And then it fades, and through the manifestation of magic, you see the sky. Then in a chaotic descent, the earthquake calms. The noise gives silence its turn. You find you are once more able to stand, though on shaking limbs. And still before you, the fountain flows. You take a breath, not realizing you are holding it in, and with it comes betterment. Not of any type of moldy mind or soul, but the fourth part. Magic. You experience that same euphoric rush you have 5 times before, though this time far more powerful. As this beacon of purple light is everlasting, shooting into the sky for all in the vicinity to see.
Oops.
Jimothy goes, yeah, this is a big oops. And that's what we'll end this session. Welcome to your first Fountain of Cathaidra. We're finally here. You finally get to see what it is, what it does, and what it looks like.
Fountains!
What'd you think?
I love it.
Did you like the whole, it was a replica of Radian?
Yeah.
Made of marble?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness. I've been pandering over that. I've looked up, I can't tell you how many fountains I've Googled. Pandering, excuse me. I can't tell you how many images of fountains I've looked up trying to come up with the description when finally I just what would be really cool? A replica of the city it was built around. That would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. Plus, it's one of those things. There are pictures of me when I was 4 and 5, and I insisted on posing in front of every fountain we came across.
Absolutely.
So there's so many in that scrapbook Mom made of me, little me, pointing. Every time I'm always pointing, because little kids always do that.
Of course.
Look at this thing. It's yeah, obviously, but no, look.
Look, I can see this thing. This is my moment of recognition.
Yeah.
But yes, for sure. It can't be a secret anymore. This fountain has been reactivated. And welcome to level 6, Leah. You and Jimothy both, and maybe even everybody else you've come to know who is of the highest level, will ascend to the next step.
Bum, bum, bum.
For all of you listening in and have been with us this far, we really appreciate the time you've given our story. And we're going to keep going because there's 5 other fountains to find. But for now, this is where I would usually put an interlude. And if I was writing a book, the end of part 1.
This is the end of cassette side A. Please turn the tape over for cassette side B.
Have a good day, everybody.
Click.
Thank you for listening. Please leave a review anywhere you found us. You can reach out to us on Twitter at BountifulBards. We hope to see you again on the civilized road.
And bring bread and cheese.
as the story goes. Until then.